Hi guys, I am so excited for today's video. As you can probably see from the thumbnail, me and Laura have been lucky enough to receive a copy of Matt Haig's new book, How to Stop Time, from the lovely people at Canongate Books, because we are lucky enough to have this YouTube channel, and I am just so excited to let you know my thoughts on this before it comes out. Expect a video from Laura as well, but then also when it comes out we're going to do a big discussion together to talk about more spoilery things in the book, because today I'm just going to do a summary for you, let you know a few of my feelings, but this video is going to be completely unspoilery so you can know everything about it and why you should read it, because that's the most important thing. Okay, so first to summarise, this book is about a man called Tom Hazard. He has another name which is a very long, old-fashioned French name, because Tom was born in the 1400s, because he is a guy who suffers from this condition, or has, sometimes he calls it a curse, called anageria, where he doesn't age as quick as everyone else. It takes him a long time to grow up, and this happens when he reaches puberty. He'll be 16 and then he'll look 16 for the next 100 years because it takes him that long to age. And this obviously causes quite a few problems for him. Obviously in the 1400s you've got the witch trials, and then as you get more to modern day he tries to cope with how he loses people as they grow old and they die. And it was just such a touching story. The way the book is written, it jumps around dates quite a lot, but the way it is structured, you completely know what's going on at all times. Each chapter title shows the month and the year, and the narrative just flows so easily. Like Tom in modern day will talk about something from his past, and then you will jump into that past in the next chapter, or similarly it will be talking about something in the past chapter that's going to foreshadow something in the future, and then you'll see that happen to him in modern day. And the circulariness of this book is so beautiful. Like Tom worries about how life is circulatory and people just go through the same problems and make the same mistakes, but he's a human too. Even though he has this condition, he still makes human errors and human mistakes. And don't get me wrong, this book is told in the first person, and you know that Tom is a lovely narrator, but he's so unreliable because he's just a human, and he's a human dealing with a huge problem which obviously is going to affect him in so many ways. And this book is just something that perhaps you don't expect when you first pick it up. It may feel like he's a time traveller, but he's not. He meets so many different amazing figures in history, and I think the characters are in this book are what make it, because obviously it's hard to pin down the genre of this book, because I would say a genre that stuck out for me would be romance, because obviously he has important people in his life and that he cares a lot about, but then they grow old a lot quicker and then he has to deal without them, and it's a huge deal for him. But then also you've got the struggles of life and also of the change of media and how to adapt. And if you follow Matt Haig at all, you know that he's very interested in his politics, and I found the references to fake news in this book both quite hilarious in context but also very engaging really, because the way that he talks about them frames it, and that it's always happened throughout history and now it's just so explicitly in our faces, we're seeing it more often, but it's always been a thing people are having to deal with in media and politics. So basically, another quick summary of today's Tom's storyline. He becomes a teacher of history because obviously he would be so good at that because he's lived through it, and it's how he deals with the children and how he sees them to how he did when he was a child, but also not a child, living in the old times really, back in England. He has a dog called Abraham. I just like to chuck that in there. And the overarching plot of the story is that he is part of the Albatross Society, which is ran by a man called Hendrik, who is the oldest man Tom knows with anageria, who gives him a life every 8 years and then relocates him safely so people don't get too attached and he doesn't get too attached to him. And I really enjoyed this metaphor, because if you've read The Rime of the Ancient Mariner by Samuel Taylor Coleridge, he seems to have drawn a lot of allusions from that, as albatrosses are big birds of nobility, and also in the Ancient Mariner they guide him out of the ice, but also the mariner, spoilers, kills the albatross and then is cursed to Tally's story, and basically that is how Tom feels. He feels cursed with time because he travels around, and also he's not allowed to tell his story because of the rules of the Albatross Society. And Hendrik, who is a very, very interesting character because he's neither good nor bad, and you have to really take your time in trying to infer his meaning, and he's a very complex character like everyone else in this book. The last thing that I want to say about this book, as it's a non-spoiler review, is that the way it is written is beautiful. The plot is engaging, the characters are funny, there's a dry sense of humour, but also it's just so engaging and emotional. But this is tied in with little sections that just talk about life in general. For example, one of the characters that Tom meets, who is also a sufferer of anageria, says, "I've been trying to find the point of it all. I used to believe in mana," which is some sort of spiritual inside thing that he believes in. Everyone did in those days on the islands. I think I still do, in a sense. Not as a superstition, but as an idea of something inside us, something still not explained that doesn't come from the sky or the clouds or someplace in heaven, but from inside here. We are mysteries to ourselves, even science knows that. And I think the message of this book is just choosing to live and choosing to love, even though it's a really painful thing to do in the end. I think the message that this book gives, and I think it's a lovely message, is that it's always worth it. So as I said before, I've got so many more things to talk about with this book, and I get to do that with my best friend who's gonna read the book too, and we're gonna let you know when that is gonna be out. It's gonna be out exactly on the day of release because we're just so excited. So I really hope that you read How to Stop Time by Matt Haig, because it's such a brilliant book and by such a brilliant author, and I feel like his writing is just getting better and better and better. Please let me know what you think down below in the comments of what you want to know. If you've got any questions at all, please ask me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!